In this tutorial, I'm going over custom widget animations in UEFN, which will let you create your very own custom widget animations. It's pretty cool. Stuff like forward, reverse, ping pong animations, you died animations with audio, and of course, looping animations. Let's get to it. So the first step in custom widget animations, we want to go to content drawer, and just for this, we're going to right click, we're going to go down to user interface, we're going to grab a widget blueprint, and since this first example, we're going to use a little button to play it. We're going to use a module dialog widget, but I'll show you how to do other stuff later. This will be our button, and I'm just gonna go inside. And here's our thing. Now this is going to be a comprehensive UI tutorial. Okay, I have another video about that, but in this video I'm just gonna show you how to make animations. So first step, I'm gonna go make a button. It can be any button. I'm gonna make a regular button. There we go. And we're just going to anchor this using this. I'm gonna just anchor it right there. Perfect. Now this button here, this button is going to be the button to start the animation. So so we're just going to call this start, I guess. I don't know. Doesn't matter. I'm just going to show you the real basics. Okay, and we're just going to grab an image. And just for this example, I've just imported this little image of a cat, and I'm going to just drag it over here into the image slot with the image selected, and it's going to add in the little image. So to actually make an animation, we need to go down to this little button down here called animations, and we'll open it. Now, if you've ever used the sequencer in UEFN, it's pretty similar to that, but there's a few little differences. But what we might do is I'm gonna dock it on layout, so maybe right there. So what we can do is we need to first make an animation. So we're gonna go over here to animations, and we're gonna plus animation. I'm just gonna be our cat move, and that's gonna be the name of our animation. Now if you click into it, you're gonna see we've selected our cat move animation, and the sequencer is now unlocked, so we can now move the cat around. So for example, we're going to select our thing, and we're going to press add, and we're going to add image 0 because that's the image we want to add. And then we have added our cat image. Now if you ever use the sequencer, there's a few different things you can do, like translation. You can also visibility, opacity, stuff like that. So click down to here. You're gonna notice we have visibility and is enabled. We also have transform and pivot and stuff like that. So if you just click at the transform, this is going to create a key, and this is our key. And right now our first key is our cat is over here, so we have a key of our cat being there. So if we move the playhead, which is the playhead of the animation, this is how we can put keys around. So the first key's there, the cat's going to be there in the first one. So I think I might go to halfway at 2.50, and then our cat, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into translation, and I'm going to change the X a little bit, so the cat's going to move over. Look, as you can see, now I have a sick animation. Now, if you notice, the cat is moving, he's slower, then he speeds up, and then he slows down. That's because of the curve, the keys we're using. It's the cubic auto. If we change that to linear on both of them, click on both keys, change that to linear, it's going to move at a constant rate, and it's going to go to abrupt stop. And then we can also do the same thing, but with a constant. And what this means is the cat will never move until it reaches there, which is then it's going to teleport there, if that makes sense. It's never going to move. Once it reaches the key, it's going to teleport. So there's just a few different keys you can use. I'm going to keep it a cubic auto. So now the cat, we now have the cat moving. That's pretty cool. Now we can also do a few other things. You can also rotate it. So what we can do is I can rotate the cat like 180 degrees, like down to here or whatever if I want to. So as you can see, he's now moving around. And what we can also do is we can get the scale, and we can also scale the cat on the X and Y. So I can make him wider, skinnier, make him wider again. Then we'll just grab this, we'll do Control C, and we can copy the key, and we'll just put the same key at the end so it goes back to normal size. There we go. Now he's like doing some crazy perfect. Now, another thing we can control is shear, and shear is just like you can do this if you want. So if I wanted to, I'm just gonna close this, and shear. I might add some shear right here. Obviously, this is not like an animation you'd probably want to make, but like it's just for it's just really as an example of what you can make. So what we can also do is we can click in here, as you saw earlier, we can do visibility, and visibility is really useful because you can see the cat or not. And usually before an animation, probably want it not to be visible. So we're gonna keep this as visible, but if we just go out of the animation and we just go out, go back to the main UI, and we just go down here on the side, you can find visibility right here. We're gonna make the cat hidden, and now when you use this UI, the cat's is already gonna be hidden, if that makes sense. So if we go in the cat move, we do hidden. As you see, that's what the cat will look like. When we start the animation, we want the cat to be visible, and the cat's gonna be visible when the animation starts. The cat's gonna be visible during the animation, and then when the animation stops, we're gonna go back to hidden, and the cat's gonna be hidden again, if that makes sense. So the animation is gonna play, the cat's gonna appear, it's gonna do some wacky movements, and then it's gonna disappear. And that's how it works. And if you look on the side here, in each of these little settings, there's a little like keyframe thing, and this means you can actually key it into the sequencer and you can control it. So for example, I can change the alignments, change the size of the content if I want it off or on, change the Z order, which means I can put it under stuff or over stuff, and all these settings in Transform we already had and stuff like that. It's pretty cool, pretty cool. So what we're just gonna do now is we're gonna save this, and it's gonna be our cat animation. So we go out of this, and we just I'll just close that for now. We're back into here now. We have our animation. We made our animation, but how do we actually use it? How do we actually make the HUD do the animation? So we're gonna use this button for this example, but I'm gonna show you some other examples later. So we're gonna go into View Bindings down here. We're gonna click on our button, and we're going to add our widget button. Now we want to add an event to this button that will make it so when you click it, it's going to do like something. So what we can do is we click into here. We're gonna go up here to unclicked. And we're going to add an event, and now we have added an unclicked event. And the next step, we actually have a choice. If we go to our button animation, we go to here on our button animation, we have a few options in here where we can, if you see this, we can do Q play animation, we can do Q play forward, reverse, and time range. We also stop animation, and we can also stop the animation too if you want. So what we can do is we can actually control this animation pretty well. So just as a simple example, we're going to just do Q play animation, and in this one, it allows us to choose the play mode down here. So we can do forward, reverse, ping pong. So this plays the loop from beginning to end. Reverse plays the loops from end to beginning, so it's going to do the opposite. And then ping pong plays the animation from beginning to end, and then it goes back to the beginning again. We can also change the start time. We can also change the number of loops to play. We can change the playback speed, and we can also change restore state. Now you're going to notice we're actually not done yet. We also have an in animation up here, and when you go into in animation, you're going to want to go into button animation, but you're going to see that you can't find your animation. If this is the case, you want to compile, and you want to go back into View Bindings, you want to go into animation, button animation, and when you look at that, there it is, cat move, which is our animation we made earlier. So we're going to select it, and now we have our cat move animation on when you click this button, which is pretty cool. Now what I might do is I'm going to make 3 buttons for each play mode. And also, should also probably mention while I'm doing this is that restore state is pretty useful, where you can actually use it to, if let's say the animation ends, the cat's going to be like over here somewhere. So if the animation ends, does the cat actually move back to where it came from, or just stay where it is? That's what restore state will dictate. So if I turn this on, the cat will return back to its original position. Turn this off, the cat will stay where it is. That makes sense. Just to let you know. Then finally we'll do ping pong. And in ping pong, we'll just add a widget. You know how it goes. We're gonna grab the onCollect event. This button animation, Q play animation, grab our animation, in button animation, cat move, there we go. And we're gonna make this ping pong. Now I've binded all the buttons to different, things, so now we can actually use it. And none of these buttons actually have functionality. I'm gonna make a pop-up dialog device. I'm gonna bring it out, and I'm just gonna add in our custom widgets. I don't think these buttons will do anything except for play the animations, so we'll just keep this all the same. We'll just auto display when game starts. That should do. Again, if you want to know how to make like custom UIs, check out my tutorial about it. This is much more for animations. And now if I start my game, you should see the UI pop up. There it is. And now, as you can see, the cat is invisible because we set it hidden. So what we can do now is we're going to do forward. Would you look at that? We can also do reverse. This is reverse, so obviously it's going to go back the other direction, and it's actually going to stay there because the visibility, the key we did was, now that I think about it, the reason why that happened was because in our rebindings, in our animations, this key right here, this is visible right here, and what we can do is we can also go into our view bindings. We can find our button for the reverse and then turn on restore state, which will make it so the cat will go back visible again. And we have ping pong, which will move the cat forward, and it's going to move the cat back. So yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. And if you do reverse in the middle of the animation, it actually will it won't reset the animation. It will go back during the animation. If that makes sense. So you can like do this. Forward will reset it, but reverse won't. Actually, sorry, that was completely wrong because we're using Q play animation inside of here, so that's why when I press forward, it resets the animation instead of just making so the reverse animation goes forward back again from where it is. If I had instead of this, I put forward in here, and then I select the, the animation we need. If I did this instead, it would have actually worked, if that makes sense. So if I do reverse forward, it would have actually done it. I'm pretty sure anyways. So these buttons right now don't do anything. If you want to actually control the device and actually close the HUD or whatever, what we can do is add a fourth button, which we'll do this button, I guess. And this will be our exit UI button. Oh, we'll just put that there. Then we go into view bindings, add a button. What we can do next is we'll do onClicked event. We're going to go into here. We're going to grab our creative module dialog widget. We're going to do get response. And then in our response, we're going to do response on button 4, because this is technically button 4. You can also do button 1 if you want, because technically we're not using any of the button in the UI. So now in our pop-up dialog device, do response type 1 button, because we're only using 1 button. And we're going to hide the UI when pop-up dialog device on responding button 1. So yeah, there we go. So now we're back in the game, and now we have our exit UI button. And if I click this, I'll allow you to look at that, we exit the UI. So there you go. So next up, what we're going to do is we're going to conjure, and we're going to right click, and we're going to add in, we're going to do user interface, make a new widget blueprint. This time we're going to make a user widget. Now this is different to the module dialog variant, where it doesn't actually, it's not button based. So if we just click into here, I think what we're going to do first is I'm going to use the HUD controller device to show everything. So this is going to be a HUD controller. I made a tutorial about this HUD controller thing a few weeks ago, if you want to know how it works and stuff like that. But if we go into view bindings, you're going to notice it's going to be slightly different. We have to add in something called a view model. We just add the view model, and there's a few different view models we can add. As you can see, we have a beacon, HUD controller, message view model, skill interaction view model, and tracking view model. I go into here. As you can see, we can get from there's like health, max health, max shield is limited, is disconnected, is reviving, etc, etc. So what we're going to do is, for example, we're going to get the HUD controller, like I said, and we're going to add that to the view model, and we're just going to close it. So now we have a HUD controller view model inside of this device. So, for example, let's say the player reaches half HP, and let's say if the player dies, we can display a message. Now, you're probably wondering, how do we actually do that? So what we're going to do is I'm going to add in a text block, and this is going to be your 50% HP, and we're gonna add this here. I don't want to do size to content. There we go. Maybe a bit smaller. Again, if you don't know any of this, I have a tutorial about all of this. Okay, I think I'm gonna go with this. Just to be fine. We'll go into animations. We're gonna add in our new animation. It's going to be for our half HP, and we're going to add in our text block. Then we're gonna get, let's say, I kind of wanted to zoom in a little bit, so we're gonna grab a transform track. We're gonna zoom it out. So that's where it's going to start, and then we're going to grab a scale. And we're going to just do 2, enter, and then 2, enter. There we go. So now it's scaled up. So if you look, it's going to be scaling up. Look at that. Wow. It gets a bit blurry because I think I'm doing it a bit too big, but oh well, 3 maybe. Sure, that will do. I'm going to click this little plus sign, and we're going to add in a color and opacity track. You add that in, and there we go. Then in A, this is our opacity. What we can do is we put it to 0. So now if you look at this, we now have a little animation that goes out of this, and I might just do, it's gonna fade in. That makes sense, like that, or maybe like that, and then we're gonna grab the other key at the end. We're gonna put that at the end there. From this, we're gonna put that there, so it fades out. It's gonna fade in. Let's say at 1, and then it's go back to 0, and it's gonna fade out. Perfect. And if you see this track up here, this is the color and opacity. You can see like it's going to like change like that. And also what we do is if we get all these with a 0, let me go red. There we go. So now we can do once. We can do something like this. It's not perfect. This. We'll then change these to 1, which will change all of them to 1. Then we can grab every single one of these. We'll then change it to constant. So now it's gonna be flashing. It's not gonna be, you see? It's a little thing you can do. You do this with materials as well if you want. If you add in a font material here. Oh wow, look at that. We did it. So yeah, this little warning, telling you, oh god, you're half HP. So there we go. That's going to be our half HP animation. We're going to save that and compile it. We're going to make a new animation. This is going to be our dead. And as you know from earlier, we hid this to work on that. So we're going to hide this, and we're going to show the you died. Now, just like half HP, we'll do the same thing with you died. And to do this, just make sure visibility is also hidden if you haven't done that. And then go into animations. And then here we're going to add an animation. And we're going to call this died, I guess. I don't know. And then we're going to add in our text. And we're going to do kind of the exact same thing we did earlier. So I'm going to hide half HP. There we go. And then we're just going to do the exact same thing we did earlier. We're going to add the text block. Then we're going to add a transform, and we're going to transform the text, make it slightly bigger. We're going to do scale, and we're going to make it maybe that big. So it'll zoom out like that. Perfect. And then next up, we're going to add opacity, and we're going to go into here. Like last time, we'll just do the exact thing we did, which is I'll make opacity 0. Then we'll key it, and we'll go to somewhere like here. Then I'll make a 1, so it'll fade in. It'll stay there, and then it will fade out. Let's do that again. And then lastly, one more last key. There we go. So now it's going to zoom in and zoom out. It's just like something you'd see in Dark Souls or something like that. And then what we can do is we can actually add something new. We're going to add audio. And how do we add audio? Well, we're going to go into this little button here. We're going to add, and then we're going to find an audio track. We're going to add that in. And we can we'll plus this and we'll find some cool audio. Yes. Oh boy, this is exciting. I'm going to get something like Black Monday. What's a good death noise? Bump? I like bump. We'll do bump. So when you die, this will play. You died. Perfect, that should do. We'll add another noise here, and it's gonna be alert. We're like a bonus. A long bonus. Perfect. Maybe a bit too much, but we'll see. There we go. And what I just did here, if you don't know what I just did, if you drag out this little arrow right here, you can fade the audio, so it'll fade out at the end. If you wanted this cut off early. So these are animations. We just made 2 animations. And how do we actually use these animations? You're probably wondering. And how do we know if the player is dead or not? So what we can do is we'll go into view bindings, and we're going to need something called a condition. Now a condition is weird because if I try to add one, I can't. But if I add a widget, you're going to see now, you can see them all, that are all the ones I spammed. I'm just going to delete them. So an issue is that we need to have a binding to have a condition, if that makes sense. And it doesn't matter what thing or whatever. So we're going to need to do something to bind it. Now the easiest way to do this is, since we're using a HUD controller, I'm just gonna make a text over here that's hidden and it'll never appear. That's gonna be a player name. I'm just gonna keep this over here because, like, you know, we just need something to bind it to, and so we'll do. So we'll use this. We've got a text block. We're gonna get the text of the text block. Then we're gonna go to here. We're gonna do HUD controller player info list. We're gonna go into here. And we'll find player name and we'll just put that in there. And now we have a bounded thing that should work. So you can see, there we go, perfect. And basically what this is doing is it's getting the player name from the controlling player info in the HUD controller, and it's putting that name into the text box's text, because it's one way to widget. Now you can do any binding you want. I'm just going to do this because like, you'll never see this anyways because it's going to be hidden. Just make sure it's hidden, and like, it doesn't really matter. You don't need that. It's just so we can add in conditions, as you can see. So now what we can do is, for our conditions, we're gonna go into here. We're gonna get a HUD info model list, and we're gonna go into here. And first we're gonna do half HP. First, actually no, we're gonna do death first because it's the easiest. So death is pretty simple. Health, gonna grab health. Just grab the health of the player. And it's gonna be equal to 0. And then we're going to here, and then we're gonna go into our HUD controller anim, and then we're gonna get Q play animation. We'll add that in, and then we're gonna add in our animation, which is died. And that should do. You also probably want to do restore state too, also, so it goes back invisible and goes back to where it should be. So there we go. We're gonna add a new condition, and then we're gonna do the exact same thing. Controlling player info, health. But this is where it changes, okay? How do we detect if a player is half HP? Well, now we could do equal, and we set that to 50. But the issue with that is that, let's say if your player gets damaged and they go from 70 to 40, we're not going to detect that because we need to be exactly so we should actually use the less than or equal to, and that means any health below 50 it will play. If that makes sense. Now there's going to be another issue, because if this plays at 0, less than or equal to 50 is also 0. So it's going to play the animation of dying at the same time as we're, you know, doing this. So what we can do actually is we're going to go into here, and we're actually going to do between including, and we can make 2 values, and this is going to be in between. So we're going to make the lower value 1, and then we're going to make the higher value 50. So this is going to make it so let's say if, you know, we're at 1 HP, it's going to play, but even if that's the case, it will still, you know, work. So if we die instantly, it's going to not play. Now you're going to run into another issue, because even though we just have this in here, it's going to be an issue because, well, let's say if we're 1 HP, and let's say when we die, the half HP animation will still be playing. That makes sense. We don't want that. So what we need to do is we're going to need to add another condition. We're going to add this. We're going to add controlling player info. And we're going to add health. And we're going to need to add in another thing that's going to tell thing to stop playing an animation, and let's say if we die. So how do we do this? Well, if we just do the exact same thing as this, equal to 0. And we're going to here, we're going to call controller, and just like playing animations, we can also stop animations. So we're going to stop the animation of half HP animation, or actually probably more accurate, actually, instead of half HP, I might just change it to I'm in the animation. Instead of your half HP, I think I might do below half HP. That's more accurate. That's more accurate. And then we'll go back into view bindings. Let's say, for example, if I am at 10 HP, I get the half HP animation, and then I get a 0 HP while the half HP is still playing. It will then cancel the half HP animation, and then it's going to, you know, work. Now this is basically done now, so we'll just go out of here. I'm gonna make it so this is hidden as well, just to check. Yeah, it is hidden. So when the game starts, both of these text things will be hidden on your screen, so you won't be able to see them. Then what we can do is we're gonna need the device now. We're gonna need a HUD controller. I'm gonna bring this out, and this is going to be what we're gonna use. And we're gonna go into details, and just kind of like the HUD message device, we're gonna go into player info widget overdrive, and we're going to grab our HUD controller anim. There we go. And now with this, what we can do is I'm just gonna add in another text block. This is gonna be our health, and I'm gonna, so we can just see how much health we got. I'm gonna add in here text block, text info widget health. There we go. And you're gonna see, oh no, an error. That's because, as in, we're actually gonna need a conversion function, which is toText integer, because health is an integer, and we're gonna put it into text, which you can't actually do. So you need to convert it, which is what it's doing. So we need to, then we're gonna put health into here, right here, and then there we go, perfect. And now it works. So this little text block will change the health of the player. This would be like 100 HP or something like that. I'll make it a bit bigger just so we can see. There we go, perfect. And just for the sake of simplicity, I'm gonna make it so it's no and show HUD, just so we know. And then show everything else. Actually, I'm gonna show health numbers. Get that as well. Who cares? Anyways, we're going to contour. Then I need something to die to, so I'm gonna get a guard device just very quickly. Then these guards will kill me, so I'm gonna make it so their team injects this too, and then they'll just kill me when I spawn. Put them over here so I don't die immediately. I'm also going to give them weapons. That should do. It doesn't really matter. And then also, just as a pure example, I'm going to also add a damage volume just to show off the thing where you die while you're getting the animation. I'm going to do damage. I'm going to make that 80. So when I walk in once, I die. And then if I stay in it, I die again. I'll make that 5 seconds. That'll do. And then I'm going to launch my session. And now in game, if you load in, as you can see, we have 100 HP right there. And the guards are over there. So I'm going to get shot by the guards. I want to see what happens. Hey guys, come on, hit me. Oh, yeah, you can do it, guys. You can hit me. Oh, but nothing played for some reason. Now the reason why nothing showed is actually because I forgot to add something in. We add, and we're gonna need text block. We're gonna add in a visibility track, and we're going to make it so it's hidden. Then it's going to be, we're gonna make it visible. Then it's gonna be like that. The last frame, we're gonna make it hidden again. There we go. Now it's gonna show hide and then, you know, stop. And we're gonna do the exact same thing for this. Completely forgot about this. Visible. And then it's going to be visible until the end when it collapses. Or hidden, sorry. There we go, perfect. Now we're going to push our changes. Alright, now if we try it, it should actually work. Let's go over to this, these guys. Oh my guys, you can hit me. You can hit me, guys. You can do it. There we go. You see, there we go. We got the first animation. And then we'll go up again. And then we died. And if you heard, all the audio worked as well too with the animations. So that's pretty cool. Now, if you saw there, it showed you died for a second after I respawned. If you want to get rid of that, just do the exact same thing I did with half HP, but it's anything other than 0. Make it so it Q stops the animation. There we go. Perfect. Now, literally just as a final little example, if we just, I'm just gonna delete these, okay? No offense to these guys. I'm just gonna delete them. And then view bindings, I'm just going to delete all of this. Now I've just imported this danger warning sign, and what I can do is we'll put it up here. Then we'll go down to animations, and we're just gonna add in a new animation. This will be warning. What we can do is we'll just add this to add. We'll do our image, and then we can do transform, and we're just going to make it so it goes up. It'll zoom up. And then about a minute later, or not a minute, a second later, it's going to go up to 1.2 or something. So it's going to get bigger. And so what we can do is bring this up to 5 seconds. We'll then grab the animation and every interval. So I'll make it 4 so it matches better with the animation. There we go. Go up, then there we go. And now it's going to go in and out like this, as you can see. Then we can do a little thing where like shakes. That'll be kind of fun. It's like, hey bro, you're low HP, can you please pay attention? Something like that. Like that. It was like, you know what I mean? I went just like that. That's pretty good. I'll put another one there. There we go. Now we have the animation. So there's a little danger thing. And then we'll have a little audio. And we'll add in the bonus Halloween thing we did earlier. There we go. So it's going to be warning us when we're on the HP. And then actually do this. Just compile it. Oh, sorry, I forgot. I deleted everything, so just delete those old ones. There we go. Compile it. There we go. Now we have a new animation where the danger sign will move. But we can also do, to make it cooler, we'll go to animations and we'll add our text thing. Then we can do, oh sorry, no, silly me. Go into warning, we'll add our text right here. And we're going to actually make it so when your health is really low, we're going to change the color of it. So it's going to change the color to red, basically. That makes sense. So that should be red now. There we go. So now if you're really low HP, it'll change your thing to red. And then we'll make this loop. And there we go. Okay, now in view bindings, what we can do is we'll add a condition and we'll do when the player's HP is low. And also for to say, you can also use is eliminated too. And if you put is eliminated in here, if I'm correct, I think 0 should be false, 1 should be true. I might be wrong about that. I'm not actually sure how you can actually do it with when it's a boolean, but I think 1 and 0 and 1 is how you do it. Well, I actually don't know. But anyways, I'll go back to health, and just very quickly, we'll do a thing where if it's between 1 and 10 HP, it's gonna play this warning thing where like, oh my god, you're low HP, you're gonna die. And then we're going to go into our animation, and we're going to find our play animation. Sorry, we're going to find our Q play animation right here. And we're going to play the animation we just made, which is warning. Now what we can actually do is, as you can see in here, number of loops to play. We'll make it so this is just, that much. And now we're just going to loop infinitely. So now what we can also do restore state. And now every single time it loops, it's going to loop, if that makes sense. I just completely forgot also. I need to add in visibility on this too, on the image. So we'll do visibility, we'll do hidden at start. So actually no, we'll do visible and then we'll do hidden. So actually no, we'll keep it visible. We'll just keep it visible because when the animation ends, it's going to restore state anyways, and it's going to go back to being hidden, if that makes sense. Since we're looping the animation, if we have one frame where it hides, it's actually going to flicker, if that makes sense. So it's going to go hidden and then flicker back on again. It's not going to look good. So we're just going to keep it only visible during the sequence, if that makes sense. And when this ends, and this is important because you need to have restore state on. If it didn't have that on, it's going to stay visible. Keep that on, it's going to go back to hidden if the animation ends. So that's what we want. So that'll be good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add another one, obviously, and we're going to add in if health is more than 10. Remember it has to be it can't have it on 10 because we want 10 to be included, so we're gonna do more than, not more than or and equal to. And then we're gonna grab stop animation and we're gonna stop the warning animation because you're either healed up, because it's a text if you get healed up above 10 again, so you're safe again. And we're gonna do this, so we're gonna do less than 1, or you can just do equal to 0 if you want. It's the same thing. And then that will detect if you're dead. So then that will also stop the warning animation because by that time you're dead. So it should be pretty cool. So now we have just made an animation that will loop. So if I go to here, and as you can see, this is red because we changed the color of it. So when the animation ends, it's gonna go back to green once you die. But we'll just launch the session because we can. Okay, so just as an example, I just deleted the card spawner, so I can actually show you this. But if I were to walk into this damage volume, as you can see, and now I'm really low HP and I'm getting this danger warning, and it's looping too, and my health has turned red now. So if I heal myself, look at that, I'm good now. And then if we die, the animation stops and the health goes back to green. I would just that it worked. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. This was a quick video on UI animations. You can do a lot more stuff with this, but just this little little video to show you how it works. So yeah, remember to like, subscribe, use my code for ArmShop. Thank you to all of the members of the channel, and watch all these videos for more of my tutorials. That's about it. I'll see you all around.